so bright. Holly. Holly is an orange dwarf star, the cool companion of Agaio, a yellow-white F-class star that is primary source of mass and light in the system. Double sun system? Interesting. Only one planet. Carcosa was thought to be a naturally occurring hothouse planet until an ASARI expedition discovered palatial ruins on its barren surface, likely the seat of an ancient city. The crumbling edifice dates back more than 2.7 million years. The only intact chamber appears to be a throne room overlooking a large depression believed to have once been an enormous lake. There is evidence that the people of Carcosa polluted their planet until it became uninhabitable, triggering a runaway greenhouse effect and spoiling the planet's fresh water supply. Research into the planet's long history will have to wait, as our scientists investigated when the word of Reaper attack reached the system, leaving behind data drones to explain their findings to anyone who survives. That's scary. Have I played this before? Yes.
Signal confirmed.
A long time ago. But also, I'm a very forgetful person. There are some things I remember very well, some things I'm completely... Okay. Need my mouse sensitivity. 100%. Asana. Let's hope we have enough fuel to get back. A hydrogen helium gas giant, Shastesia, is a twin to its more massive neighbor Medocus in more than one sense. The two are named for a semi-mythological pair of twins from ASARI antiquity who ruled neighboring city-states and had a lifelong dialogue about the best form of government. As the legend goes, Shastesia died before her vision of a democratic republic could be realized. Her sister, Medocus, then took up the cause, sacrificing personal power so that all free landowners in her city would have a voice. Although historians doubted that the changes were entirely altruistic, pointing to uprisings that demanded representation, the development was a step toward modern ASARI government. Let's look at the twin then. Medocus is a medium-sized gas giant, although its mass exceeds that of Jupiter. The planet is somewhat denser and thus smaller. A large number of moons, planetesimals, and other detritus orbits Medocus, as its gravitational pull has cleared the neighborhood of material that might otherwise form an asteroid belt. Velos, the hydrogen methane ice giant drifting out in the frozen depths, its orbit hosts a ring of rock and ice as well as many moons, all drawn from what would otherwise be a secondary asteroid field similar to Sol's Kuiper belt. Velos is named for a trickster figure in ASARI mythology, a crafty animal called Amanal that seduced ASARI maidens who then gave birth to hideously deformed offspring. What the hell is going on here? Crafty animal who seduced ASARI maidens, who then gave birth to hideously deformed offspring. In the tales, Velos is caught and punished, but they serve as a warning to young ASARI not to initiate a bond with anyone they cannot trust. Okay then. I thought ASARI offspring are always ASARI. So how come this one is special? Emotes is a desertified rock planet with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and monoxide. The surface has water, ice, as well as occasional liquid water near volcanic areas. The plant has an abundant supply of zeolites, whatever, which the ASARI use for water purification as an ingredient in detergent and as a shielding material for disposal of radioactive waste. A small colony still maintains the mining equipment despite centuries of colonization. The ASARI have developed limitless to modest pace. The plant shows no sign of resource exhaustion. Just 12,000. Must be nice. Oh, we've been here. Why did I think we haven't been here? Might be time. Lessos is an unpopular garden world with a characteristic just outside of the comfort zone of its ASARI population. Its gravity is little too high, its diseases a little too virulent, and the soil inhospitable for growing food. Further information is difficult to come by. The ASARI government is uncharacteristically silent about Lessos. Normally, a garden world settled so long ago would be highly populated, but little light population can be seen on Lessos' night sight. One of the scariest missions of this game, in my opinion. Trying new weapons for us, and old weapons for them. Might give him Valkyrie actually. Consecutive shot with the properties of the bomb power. Do not have attention span to think about that, to be honest. No more points. The aura. Singularity for sure. Then warp. Actually, the warp ammo. Because squad mates can gain the power.
Dig up any information on the mission, Liara?
I did, and I now understand why High Command wanted to hide it. We're headed to an Ardat Yakshi monastery.
Ardat Yakshi? Like Morinth?
Morinth chose to be a killer. These Ardat Yakshi isolated themselves to avoid that. But it doesn't mean they're harmless. Their urge to feed can be powerful. That's why High Command sent in commandos to investigate the monastery's distress signal.
So what does the ASARI High Command want us to do?
If there was a chance the Ardat Yakshi could break loose, the commandos were to purge the monastery.
Purge. You mean destroy?
They would have brought heavy explosives with them, yes.
Morinth was dangerous, but are the Ardat Yakshi this big of a threat?
Morinth was just hitting her stride. Ardat Yakshi who kill leave behind astronomical body counts. It's why they can never be free, and why they're such a great source of shame to the ASARI. That's why High Command won't rest until this place is destroyed. They'd never risk a single Ardat Yakshi getting loose.
Don't assume anything. Maybe the Ardat Yakshi sent out the distress call. If the ASARI want us to destroy this place, I need to know what happened.
Agreed. Once we give a report to High Command, they'll stop wasting lives here.
Let's see.
My visor's IR says this shuttle's warm. Recent visitor?
Can I? For a second. Interesting you. And some beautiful views of mountains and garrisons. Is my new sniper rifle gonna be laser?
Elevator disabled. To prevent entry or escape, I wonder.
Both. Let's say both. Oh. That does not look nice. Is that a ASARI script? Oh.
That sound.
Yeah.
There's more than one out there.
Oh yeah. I hate the things. Terrifying. Terrifying. Oh, before we go, I forgot. I think about it and then next moment I'm already...
Jelix, the
No,
second
no,
planet
Jelix.
in the Arai system.
No.
Admiral Stephen Hackett is a decorated officer in the
We
system.
come back to these later. There we go. Ardat Yakshi, demon of the night winds. Are ASARI suffering from generic disorder, preventing conventional melding of nervous systems during mating. Instead, Ardat Yakshi electrochemically ravage their partner's nervous system, in extreme cases leaving victims as vegetative invalids or corpses. So is there a possibility to not leave the victims in vegetative state or dead state? If that's in extreme cases, what's a standard case, like basic case outcome? ASARI psychologists regard the incapacity for mental fusion as preventing development of empathy, leading to psychopathy, I'd say. There is no known cure. Which is also interesting. I never thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense that ASARI melding is basically like overdeveloped empathy. Magic empathy, let's just say. Eso-fueled empathy. The disorder generally begins in infancy, reaching full pathology during maiden adolescent sexual development. While seductive and sexually driven as others ASARI, Ardat Yakshi are congenially sterile. Ancient ASARI mythology held Ardat Yakshi as gods of destruction, depicting them as villains in countless legends, and as anti-heroes of numerous ASARI epics. I wish all psychopaths were sterile at birth. Wouldn't be a great world to live in. Imagine If you are born without empathy, you're born congenitally sterile. That would be a dream in this universe. Contrary to popular belief, Ardiakshi are neither extremely rare. Around 1% of ASARI develop on the AY spectrum. Nor are they all murderers. Most cultivate or discard countless exploitative or abusive relationships during their legally marginal lives. Despite rumors of Ardiakshi syndicates, by nature Ardiakshi are incapable of long-term cooperation, as all psychopaths are. As a disproportionately wealthy species, ASARI employ the economic reach and media ownership to hide the Ardiakshi pathology from the galactic community, placing most Ardiakshi in monitored programs for seclusion. Only the most aggressive cases are sentenced to sanitaria and prisons or to their execution list of justicars. And we will deal with the rest after this mission. Unless we get more doing this mission. Okay. Well, that does not look good.
What was that? Stay sharp.
That was a scary noise, my friend. In a dark, dark
I
monastery.
heard something.
That was me. So
Garrus. I love Garrus. Electric signature. Nice chairs. Nice benches, nice greenery.
Delay. You won't believe what Yanis managed to smuggle in. A copy of Vanya. Meet us after supper.
Oh no, not Vania.
Study work. Real is floor warden tonight, so act natural. We'll be by the East Video Banks. This is gonna be so great. See you there. Oh, and delete this once you listen to it. Not like last time.
I guess it was just like the last time. Someone's security consciousness is not very high. Reminder: students are not allowed to visit each other's quarters or meet in rooms unsupervised by staff. Students are also forbidden from external communication without approval by senior staff members. There are no exceptions to these rules. First offenders will have their free time revoked for a month. Further violations will be met with confinement. Our monastery is our shelter. For it to remain that way, we must make sacrifices. If we do this, I have faith we can continue to enjoy the order and peace this place has given us. Mater Galare.
Reapers. Looks like we know why the commando teams went silent.
This monastery's out of the way. What do the Reapers want with Ardat Yakshi?
You'll see soon enough.
Anything useful?
A floor plan marked with the nav point location of a bomb. It's in some place called the Great Hall.
At least it's no surprise Nuke on Tachanka, but the commandos want this place gone pretty badly.
Ardat Yakshi or not, evacuating this place would have saved a lot of lives. If there's no survivors, let's get to the Great Hall and set off that bomb.
Wait, there is room we haven't checked. I see, very important. To our staff and students, attached is our new daily schedule. Please know that wake-up time has been moved forward 15 minutes. floor wardens can download chore list later this week. Please see Mattering Alive for myself if you have any questions or concerns. Sincerely, Superintendent Jathra. Wake up for 35:45 a.m. That's hella early. Breakfast. 5:45, 6:15 a.m. Excuse me, can I have some time for morning bath, toilet routines before we have breakfast? No? Morning meditation, 6:15, 8 a.m. Study period, 8 a.m., 10 a.m. Chores, 10, 12 p.m. Midday meal, 12:45 p.m. Classes, 12:45, 5 p.m. Study period, 5 to 6 p.m. Why do I have an hour of study period after classes? Supper, 6 to 7. Evening meditation, 7 to 8. Free period, 8 to 10. Curfew, 10. Oof. And that's every day, all day. There's no exceptions? I wouldn't call this a monastery then. Boot camp. More like. Can you not get back? Yes, you can. I wanted to see if I can see anything. Beautiful place, though. I'd live here if I didn't have to follow their schedule. Schedule. Whichever you would prefer. Uh-oh.
Very good. I almost didn't hear you.
Samara.
Samara?
It has been some time, Shepard. You are a most welcome sight. The corruption here runs deep.
What brings the Justicar out here?
My daughters have lived here for centuries, Garrus. I've come for them. Unfortunately, the Reapers had already infested this place by the time I arrived.
You met me hunting down your other Ardat Yakshi daughter. Are these ones just as dangerous?
Valor and Rila have followed the monastery's rules ever since they arrived. They've shown no inclination toward violence.
And you're here to save them.
They are my responsibility. And it's one that cannot be abandoned, even as our galaxy crumbles.
Let's go together. Maybe your daughters can tell us why the Reapers hit this place.
I suspect they will have much to tell us. It has been centuries since I last saw them.
Centuries.
We're out of time. We'll meet again. I will draw these creatures off.
Wait! Let's go.
My name is Tashia Pore. I'm wounded. Bad. Give this to my bondmate, Weshra. Asked her to go to the Citadel and tell Weshra I love her. Tell her. Sorry we fought. I was an idiot. Didn't mean any of it, Weshra. Want you to have everything of mine, okay? Love you. I love you so.
Well, that's kind of second ASARI widow we have to talk to. The worst job They always have me do the worst jobs.
It's too quiet. Are there any survivors?
This fight didn't last long by the look of it.
It wouldn't. The monastery only had a few guards to protect it, not an army.
Look how beautiful it is, though. I would definitely live here. If I didn't have to follow the rules. Burps. In this weather?
That one's new.
Oh, yes, it is. What is this weapon I'm using? Very interesting. Where are they climbing from?
That used to be a person. An ASARI.
Yep.
What have the Reapers done?
The same thing they have done to all the other races until now.
Mother, you came.
As soon as I was able. Shepherd, this is Valor, my youngest. She and her sister Rila are Ardat Yakshi. They have
Mother, they have Rila.
What?
I saw some of those creatures take her into the Great Hall.
Mhm.
I've been trying to get there.
What are the Reapers doing here?
You can't tell?
Harvesting us. They're turning us into those monsters. Please, you can't let that happen to Rila.
The ASARI thought the Ardat Yakshi were to blame for the attack.
This is our home. Most of us are grateful to be here. The monastery is a place Ardat Yakshi can achieve peace.
Valor speaks truthfully, Shepherd. I vouch for her words, with pride.
Then we have to find Rila fast. The Great Hall has a bomb in it.
A bomb? What, didn't you come to rescue people?
We'll try, but we can't leave this place standing, Valor.
You sound like the commandos. They didn't stop to help anyone.
Valor?
I'm sorry.
Valor! The Great Hall. She's looking for Rila.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice flying.
We'll meet you there.
Please be swift.
You'd need a crowbar to pry those doors open.
Mm-hmm.
This place was beautiful before the Reapers came.
Ouch. Can you not?
Jethro, this is Galay. I've blocked extranet access. We don't need the students panicking about these Reaper rumors. Still, it will not hurt to tally our supplies. Please bring me an inventory before evening prayer. I'll contact Cessia later tonight to inquire what sent the Asari to war. Go in peace.
Yes. Reaper rumors is one way to put it. I don't know, I like my Widow rifle more, but the explosive power is not bad. I think they do pretty much the same amount of damage. Oh, nice. Was that not a pistol? Was it a shotgun? Probably a shotgun for some reason. Jethro, I had the new girl put in a holding chamber. The justicar who brought her to us, justicar Fora, said they had trouble convincing the prisoner coming to monastery was necessary. This may explain why the girl lashed out at her guards. She's lucky Fora wasn't here for that. The justicar's code would have demanded an execution. I'll question some other justicars on the level of coercion Fora is permitted to use by the code. This isn't the first time her captors arrived here terrified of their wits, but it will certainly be the last. Madrangala. Jethro, I looked over this year's candidates for supervised visits to Thessia. I'm approving everyone but Yanis. She's impulsive, cunning, and worst of all, a romantic. Find me a worse combination to let outside our walls. I find it suspicious she was even nominated. Let's look into that and pray it's not Yanis manipulating another infatuation. It takes a great deal of time and effort to persuade Thessia's government to let our best students visit their own homeworld. Unless Yanis matures, she won't be among them. Okay. The build-up. I think I should use the sniper rifle for this. Definitely. It's like a sniper bazooka. I wouldn't call it a sniper rifle. Hello. Oh, this is a beautiful room. Let me just pick this first. Precision scope.
Another dead commando. Was she holding off Reapers or was she left behind?
Commandos work as teams. She would have volunteered to guard this point.
Hope she took some down before she died.
Mm-hmm. Elevator. Have fun lurking.
There's our bomb.
And Valor.
Rila, wake up!
Valor, Rila cannot hear us.
Look, she's still alive.
I know, but I am afraid Rila is not one.
Rila's not one of them yet. She can't be. She just needs to wake up.
Hmm.
Rila? Rila, can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Why did she do that?
Because they've begun to turn her into one of the Reaper's creatures.
I'm sorry. Can we set off that bomb?
Not without a detonator.
Commandos would have had one. We've got to find it.
Nope. She's here.
Later.
That's the last one.
For now. Let's get back to that bomb.
Can you not scream after you already died?
Valor, go! Take the elevator! Rila, what are you doing? It's too late for me. There are hundreds coming. Just go!
She has a detonator.
Move!
No! Rila! I love you. Rila!
Oh no. Especially when you think that every single one of these is her You can say friends, you can say cohabitants, other inhabitants of this monastery, teachers and students. Oof, that's not nice, my guy, that's not nice.
We're not your slaves.
Oh no.
Rila, there wasn't even time to say goodbye.
Few can break the Reaper's hold. Rila's will was extraordinary, as was her love for you.
We left her to die.
It was her choice. And there was no other.
Rila made her choice, and it has reminded me of what is truly important. Why I swore I'd lay down my life.
What is that?
Valor, the code demands an Ardat Yakshi cannot live outside a monastery that no longer exists.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Shepard. By the Justicar's code, there is only one way to save Valor.
Mother, no!
My daughters, you were also...
No. Not doing this today.
Let go.
What are you doing?
Fulfilling the code.
By throwing your life away?
I won't kill my last daughter.
You won't have to.
Valor?
I'll stay here. Home. No matter what's become of it.
Without a proper monastery,
I could have left any time. I don't need a building to honor my own code. And
Will
if
you
the
stay
Reapers
alone?
return, they won't take me alive. I promise.
then the code permits you to stay, as you are.
Stupid code.
Once this war is over, and if I am able, I will visit, as a Justicar should.
I have no love for absolute truth, absolute codes,
I'd understand if you wanted to help Valor
absolute
rebuild a home
beliefs.
here.
It must wait now that I can help oppose the Reapers. I'll speak with Valor, then join your forces.
Thank
If
you.
you'll have me, of course.
Always.
I'd be honored.
The honor is mine, my friend.
Everything's taken care of down here. Bring in the shuttle.
Right, Commander.
Well, this
Just follow
mission's
the smoke.
turned out shorter than I believed it'd be. I think my memory, either I was...
I read your
Wait a
report,
second.
Commander. We had no idea the situation had deteriorated so quickly.
That's why I set off the bomb.
May the Ardat Yakshi find rest. What the Reapers did to them was monstrous. I had another team of commandos headed to the monastery who I can now formally transfer to Admiral Hackett's command. They'll serve you loyally, Commander.
Thank you.
Farewell.
Farewell. I think I was either much worse at the game or my memory, you know how the fear has big eyes, or what's the saying is. I remember this mission to be so much more difficult than it just was. I don't know why. Again, the ASARI commandos train from very early age to control their minds and bodies, seeking the ultimate economy of thought and movement. They are taught that each shot and each decision be made without hesitation. While exact training methods vary among teams, all commandos are consummate professionals. Their ambitious quick strikes and clever tactics have bested larger, well-armed units in thousands of recorded conflicts. The Justicars are an ancient ASARI war dedicated to finding and punishing those who would harm others. They vigilantly adhere to the Justicar Code, a comprehensive, complicated list of laws. By assaulting the innocent, slaughtering the helpless, and refusing to acknowledge any authority above themselves, the Reapers are an affront to nearly everything the code stands for. The Justicar Samara has set aside all the responsibilities, pledging to stop the Reapers even if it kills her. I'd say it will kill most of us. Of them.
Shepard, Commander.
We'll talk later.
We will remain here.
I can't really. We'll just see.
Merchant told me that Cerberus started out as an Alliance Black Op.
Black Ops always go bad. If you have to deny the action, it was a crappy action.
Yeah, exactly.
Commander, Dr. Chuck was sent word that she'd like to speak with you down in the med bay.
Didn't I just spoke? I will try again, but I think we've spoken already. Things are settling down in Omega. Looks like the Talons are the new security force on the station. Their leader said something about honoring Kendra's memory. I'd say they were being cute, except they not shy about backing up the statement's firepower. Be careful there. No, there's at least one Batarian that doesn't want you dead, Bray. Thank you, Bray. From Corinne Lemaes, Commander Shepard. As of an hour ago, ASARI High Command has assigned my squad to support you. We will ride with the Second Fleet until it's time to deploy. If you allow me a personal note, I knew a few of the commanders who went down to that monastery. Nothing will bring them back, but hearing that the place went up in smokes is the only good news I've heard in weeks. Ready to serve? Captain Corinne Lemaes. From Samara. Shepard, I finished my business in Lesses. I would offer to travel once again with you in the Normandy, but the code dictates I join the fight where it's most dire. While you do your essential work, I will do my best to help the front. Before I depart, I will return to the Citadel for a short time to prepare. If it does not interfere with your duties, come find me there. Sure. Let's go see if Dr. Chakfus is just bugging out, or she has something new to say. No, she's standing up. Oh, she has something to say.
Remember our agreement?
Oh.
We'd open a bottle of cerise ice brandy every year, and it's my turn to buy.
But it hasn't been a year yet.
Yes, well, something tells me we won't have the chance a few months from now, so indulge my impatience.
You grab the glasses. I'll open the bottle.
The last time was
and
fun.
Jeff says, Jacqueline Subject Zero is sorry, but it's ma'am to me. I'd like to keep my Admiral Winky. Oh, Shepard, you know, I just realized. You've never called me by my first name.
Well, neither have you.
And I never will.
Ouch.
You are Commander Shepard, hero of the Citadel, conqueror of the Collectors, savior of the galaxy.
Too much pressure.
Using your first name just disrespects everyone you're fighting for, alive or gone.
Really?
That makes no sense.
Ooh, we do sound drunk.
Consider it a lady's prerogative, then. Come, let's have a toast.
I think both of us should be counted as ladies with the same prerogatives, no?
To a woman I'm proud to call my friend. I am lucky to have you with me, Karen.
And to you, dear friend. It is my great honor to share this journey with you. Commander Shepard.
Ouch.
And good fortune to us all. I've learned my lesson this time. Even a Krogan couldn't match you drink for drink. Nothing to report.
Oh. Is the world shaking or not shaking this time? Probably not. Pressure getting down on me. Now I'm down, now. Under pressure. Do I have enough fuel to make it back home? Was the question. Barely. Barely. There was something here that, yes, kept making noise.
I found something.
Likely some fuel. Nice. Which makes we can even make it to Kalini. Without having to leave the system and be thrown. Vast swaths of Earth's surface are covered with thick ash, spewed into the air by chains of volcanoes across the planet. Beneath this layer of soot, Earth has an iron core and significant level of cobalt in its crust. Lemnia. As with bunnie, Lemnia had mining facilities in orbit, remotely controlling machines on the planet's surface to recover Lemnia's highly valued uranic elements. Unfortunately, the miners made no secret of their presence, and to find all trace of them and wipe them all out, all Reapers needed to do was access the extranet. A rock plant exploited for minerals by Roman miners, bunnie was named for an ancient mythological ASARI hero. Her music was so stirring that goddess Athene granted bunnie anything her heart desired. Differing legends reflect the variety of hero cults of the time. In some stories, she became the first ruler of Ermali, while others claim bunnie took to the stars with Athene herself. The Roman miners' orbital stations have been destroyed. A number of life pods can be detected, but most are in the red, indicating their oxygen ran out long ago. That's not a good way to go. Something here, so...
Signal confirmed.
Okay, I thought there was something around the planet, though. Apparently not. Trunticles. Largely frozen ice except for the liquid seas of the equator, Trunticles has the coldest winters of any ASARI colony, taken down near the second tier of habitability. Trunticles colonists are a hardy bunch, using the freezing winter months to test whether newcomers have what it takes to carve out a life on the planet. Trunticles colonists are fighting the Reapers in a guerrilla war, their best resource being submarine vehicles that can sleep under the sea ice to mask their heat. Unfortunately, these have not proven good tools for taking back population centers from Reapers, and for now, colonists will have to be satisfied with command actions to harass their synthetic oppressors. The most temperate planet in the solar system is Sthenia, is a terrestrial world with a light atmosphere of nitrogen and argon. ASARI from neighboring Trunticles built mining operations around the southern pole after discovering mountains with veins of radium and osmium. I think I forgot that I already scanned here once, so I have to go to a different system. 100%, 50%. 66%. What's with my diction. Fuel. Where's this? Where now? Okay, we have 3 of them on 50%. The worst part is I can never remember which did I scan and which I didn't scan. Planets. Risky. Tomatoes. Lucky. If I leave the ones that like in open space and make a noise when you fly over them, that's nice. But if it's a planet that doesn't make noise when I fly over it, then I get all confused. Lucky. I think we're done with this system. I can't really start the Korean quest today, so I just want to clean up what we can before, so we'll leave it for the next time. Well, Holland's threshold. Micah is hella far. That's a big asteroid belt. Kakabel. The second asteroid in the system formed around an element 0 core. Kakabel is another carbonaceous asteroid with a surface made of hydrated minerals such as carbonates and clays. Beneath its icy surface is liquid water with some amino acids. The surface of Kakabel is pitted and scarred with strip mining stations, where the Koreans took as much ESO as possible before moving on. Fire loss. One of 3 asteroids formed around Lemon Zero core. I feel like we've read this in Mass Effect 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Israfil. Largest of the ESO's trio. Some fighter species microorganism in liquid water. While many in the scientific community protested that Israfil did not have sufficient atmosphere or evolutionary history to sustain life at prior level, the asteroid and its ESO miners were nevertheless quarantined to assure the public that the System Alliance was taking action. I remember this one. Definitely read this. Scan between these two planets first.
I found something.
Okay. Hello. Emergency fuel pods. Can I use the fuel pods? No. Rahilia. No.
Signal confirmed.
Right on where I was. Just 95 liters or whatever it was of fuel. Okay, we don't go there yet. I don't know if there's anything in there. Fuel. Angostro. Haven't been here. But I doubt we actually need to read anything here because I think this is one of the system from Mass Effect 1. I'll just check for any new entries about the Reaper. What is that? About the Reapers. Tuntao. I remember Tuntao. I say. There's something here, but I'm interested in seeing what this is. Pinnacle Station. An asteroid-based Pinnacle Station was originally constructed by Turians to function as concealed command center during the Krogan rebellions. It has been retrofitted as a military training facility for all high-level special operations team employed by the Council. The station's campus simulation allows teams to train under a variety of hazardous conditions. So we probably should scan around here now. Try to get all 3 of them if I can.
I found something.
Yes. Give me. Spec Ops team. As expected. Now I have to jump and fuel again. I did not mean to scan there. That was bad. At least I didn't do it when they were already ready to chase me. Ooh. Come on. Into the face of Corbin. These two are the closest, so I will scan between them.
Signal confirmed.
Oh. Jackpot. I was afraid it's gonna be one of the planets that are far away by themselves. Would have taken me like forever. Nice. So. Next. Vatican Beta is also new. But not new as in we've been here before in a different game. But new to Mass Effect 3. I'm not making any sense, am I? That's hella far. Logan. Hello. I didn't play Andromeda. I am not planning to play Andromeda. I tried playing it once. To be honest, I could not get over the way it looked and felt. Well developed Prothean mining.
I found something.
Oh, I thought it would be this one. Ferrous. But Ferrous also makes sense. Exogenous scientists.
Signal confirmed.
Litania. Interferometric array. Nice. Exodus, yeah, I have heard about Exodus. It's on my wish list. Waitlist, wish list, same thing in my case. Because I have a long list of games I want to play, and they're all waiting for me to do something about it.
Crucible project received some new tech from the ASARI government.
I'm glad they've decided to help the war effort.
Everybody has to fight now, no matter how pretty you are. I learned that the hard way.
How does your neck turn that way? I'm hypermobile, and my neck doesn't turn that way.
Commander?
Cerberus is gonna have a hard time recruiting now. Glad you talked Samara down.
I never thought I'd see her flinch from her duty.
I don't know. On one hand, that code's all she's had to live by for, God, centuries. And the galaxy goes to hell. The old rules don't cut it anymore. I mean, we're cutting some corners, right?
A few.
Well, the Alliance can always court-martial us after we save the galaxy.
Commander?
What are you doing, Edie?
Monitoring reports of proton storms and other space weather. With the Reapers attacking the comm buoy systems, critical warnings may be lost.
How bad are these storms?
If we are warned, not bad. If we are not warned, very bad.
Thanks for the info, Edie.
Hello, Shepard.
Space weather. Not I can stop them. Even remotely familiar with. Waitlist because on the buy list, yeah. Or more like all the games that wait for me to play them. To get all the games waiting their turn until I'll finally get to them.
Trainer, if you're not doing anything, I've got a few hours free. Would you like to come up?
Your cabin is gorgeous. I've seen apartments smaller than this.
Ooh, I've seen some too.
An actual shower. The faucets in the women's bathroom are crap, by the way.
Crazy as again.
Well, Commander, ready to play?
Play?
I
Play?
picked up a chessboard on the Citadel.
I have a
Two-lead
chessboard
interface, not nearly as
from
nice
an
as
evil
Reese's, but
Cerberus
this
guy.
takes up less space. And I recall you delivered something that closely resembled a challenge. So, interested?
This is a trap, isn't it?
I'm just a simple lab scientist, Commander. I'm sure your real-world expertise will give you an edge.
She's full of scheiße. Ha!
Oh, come on!
My word, Commander. It's almost as though you wanted to spare your pawns the indignity of living under my regime.
In real life, that tactic would have worked.
Well, in real life, one doesn't move on an 8x8 square grid.
You know what I mean. The pawns are infantry. A good infantry line like the Krogan can take a charge like that.
She sounds so dumb.
That reminds me of a joke. What's the difference between Commander Shepard
Ooh, you wanna go there?
and Krogan?
The number
One
of
is an
quads.
unstoppable juggernaut of head-butting destruction.
And the other doesn't have a smart-ass comm officer to keep her in line.
Ooh, that's even better than the number of testicles punchline.
I'm glad you didn't run back to the lab, Trainer.
Thanks. So, rematch?
Hell yes.
I knew the quads would be involved somehow. Why is James wants to come out?
James, I've got some time if you want to talk privately.
On my way.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, James. You?
Good, good.
Are you also interested in my shower?
Wow. So this is what I can look forward to when I get my own command.
Yeah, can you see my eel?
You want your own ship, Vega?
Yeah, maybe one day. When I'm old and I can't fight worth shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You just come up here to make fun of your commander.
Sorry, Lola.
Are you calling me old?
I guess maybe I got some things on my mind. I wanted to get your opinion on something.
Shoot.
What did you do when they asked you to join the N7 program? I mean, was it a no-brainer for you?
No, they ask you.
Did you think about it before accepting?
The N7 program is a big deal, but it's also a big commitment.
I hear that.
You get the best training, best equipment, best assignments.
And they expect the best in return.
Yes, they do. Why are you asking?
Well, even all the shit that's going on, somebody somewhere managed to track me down and forward an N7 commendation. It's dated the same day the Reapers attacked Earth.
You don't sound too thrilled.
Well, aside from the fact that there won't be an N7 program if we don't win this war, I just... Being a soldier's the only thing I've ever been really good at. And not because I try. Hell, I'd have kicked my ass out years ago. Last time I had a command, I lost almost everyone. And they promoted me for it. I guess I'm just not sure if I'm ready to lead again. I don't know if I want that responsibility.
You mentioned that before. What went wrong?
What didn't go wrong? We were out on patrol, checking on some strange readings, and the collectors hit. But they hit the colony first. By the time we got back, most of the colonists had been subdued or abducted, including our CO, Captain Tony.
Tony!
So you were in charge?
Yeah. We laid low for a bit, waiting for a chance to strike, but before we could, we were betrayed. One of the colonists turned out to be a Cerberus spy working with the collectors.
That's complicated.
I killed him and destroyed the collector ship. But it got ugly. We lost most of the colonists and all but one of my squad. Not exactly a textbook operation.
You can't blame yourself for being put in a tough situation. And if you were promoted, then something must have gone right.
Sure, but...
If you'd saved them all, would things have worked out better?
I don't know. I don't think so.
The right choice is usually not the easy one.
Yeah. Did you know that before you joined the N7?
Yep. That's why I was asked. And it's why they asked you. There is not a single N7 that hasn't sacrificed either themselves or their soldiers at some point.
So you think I should accept?
Assuming we survive this, that's a no-brainer. You're a damn good soldier, Vega. Don't waste that opportunity.
I'll think about it. Seriously. If you don't mind, maybe don't mention this to anyone else.
Sure.
Of course not.
Gracias. Well, I think I better get back to the hangar. Things here, it's a little too soft for me.
The bed's a lot harder than it looks.
Are you?
That's no.
I'm going. Thanks again.
Anytime.
Like the arm crossing. No. No flirting here. Hi, hamster. It's great. As usual, this thing. Cerberus Phantom. Phantoms are agile Cerberus agents with a wide array of offensive and defensive capabilities, including particular specialization in evasive maneuvers and firing from cover. Although intelligence on their implants still weighs their lines, Phantoms are known to be able to create a personal barrier for greater protection. When molecular blades and biotic shielding allow Phantoms to engage in close quarters combat, and Phantoms can briefly cloak in order to recover from injuries. Because of this ability, the Alliance recommends personal confirmation of Phantom's death. Personal confirmation of Phantom's death, excuse me. Scion, a fortified world under the protection of several ASARI matriarchs, has begun to supply fuel to Systems Alliance forces in the hope that an ASARI-human partnership might prevent the Reapers from seizing the planet. Alliance forces have since established several outposts in the system. The humans in ASARI have been joined by a smaller detachment of Turians drawn from the private militia of a corporate conglomerate that does business with Scion. The three species are so determined to defend Scion that integration issues have been negligible. The task force had already thrown back several Reaper attacks, although the commanders express concern that small Reaper forces could have slipped through despite their vigilance. And the Miracod Palawan. The Turian Krogan counterattack on Palawan combined deception, courage, and tenacity. First, the Turans leaked a false battle plan that drew on the same tactics they used at the beginning of the assault on Palawan. Then the dreadnought Indomitable faked a problem with its drive core, coming out of tail near Palawan's moon Menai. 3 other dreadnoughts and their attendant fleets deployed to assist Indomitable, attempting to target the Reaper capital ships away from Palawan. Turan troops transport then entered Palawan's atmosphere to release shuttles, gliders, and individual solar capsules. The Reaper did not understand the seriousness of the threat at first. Those that detected the landing craft sent husks and collector swarms to intercept them, but little more. This allowed Krogan commandos to link up with Palawan's resistance and hand off their payloads, warp bombs, and fission weapons. In simultaneous strikes across the globe, Reaper ships began to explode. Turan resistance members had managed to smuggle the bombs inside when the Reaper processing ships, troop transports, enemy destroyers, and capital ships had opened their structures to indoctrinate Turan leaders. Large swaths of territory fell back into Turan Krogan control. News of the victory gave a much-needed boost to the morale of the Turan resistance and the galactic public. But the action was not without sacrifice. Turan insurgents gave their lives to ensure the explosive detonated, and the processing centers they destroyed were full of civilians who died just as surely as they had been harvested. As if they had been harvested. Of the dead, General Minan Resvirek said, "Whatever they were in life, their death had no equal. They are worthy of joining the spirit of Palawan itself."
The Reaper called Banshees are the corrupted ASARI often found leading a Reaper strike force. The Reapers create them specifically from ASARI with active or latent predispositions to becoming Yakshi, a rare neurological condition that enhances the ASARI's biotic power while causing the immediate death of anyone she mates with. Lumbering as though in constant pain, the emaciated Banshees are surprisingly durable opponents. They are devastating biotics, able to hurl lethal balls of energy and create shock waves as they regenerate. What Alliance military finds most disturbing is the Banshee's ability to spawn her own warp field and seemingly teleport during combat. Although their wails have no apparent physiological effect, the psychological impact is undeniable. When Banshees die, their Yakshi genetics twist against them, causing a biotic implosion to ensure they evade capture.
We saw a few bodies, but also isn't it weird that with all other races, they just corrupt whatever? But with ASARI, it's just the ones that carry their Yakshi gene.
Jelix, the planet Rannoch, an arid planet orbiting an older star in the Tikkun system, is the former Quarian home world. Almost 300 years ago, the Quarians were driven from Rannoch by the Geth, synthetic servants who gained sapience and rebelled against their creators. Although Rannoch is now largely uninhabited, the Geth have acted as caretakers, working to repair the planet's ecology, restore ancient structures, and cultivate some farmland. Rannoch has no insect life. As a result, its pollinating plants evolved to rely on animals for propagation. This symbiosis between flora and fauna is responsible for the Quarians' weakened immune systems, which made colonization of other planets extremely difficult after their exile from Rannoch. For many Quarians, reclaiming their home world from the Geth is a matter of both cultural and physiological necessity.
And to Rannoch we will go next time.
Admiral Stephen Hackett Jacob Taylor is a human biotic and was once a Cerberus operative working under Miranda Lawson. Born in 2157, he began his career as a Systems Alliance Marine and served as a member of the Corsairs, an arm's-length program for operatives working outside of Alliance jurisdiction. Taylor survived the Geth attack on Eden Prime, but left the Alliance afterwards because of what he perceived as unresponsiveness in the face of aggression. While working for Cerberus, Taylor thwarted a plot by Batarian terrorists to unleash a bioweapon on the Citadel. Soon after, he was assigned to Project Lazarus, the Cerberus effort to reconstruct Commander Shepard and the Normandy stealth frigate. Following the project's completion, Taylor accompanied Shepard through the Omega-4 relay to destroy the Collectors. He survived that mission and has since left Cerberus, although his current whereabouts and affiliations are unknown.
Why does he have a waste entry but Samara does not get one? What's the discrimination here? Alright. Celia Nebula. Release. This is what we missed, so it's gonna remain. Collect these next time. Also another one we missed. And then deliver the things on Citadel. And that's all gonna be for next time. I think we're gonna start with the Koreans storyline next time. I mean, continue the Korean storyline next time, which is the main story. Until it's end, bitter or not. And then we'll see what happened next. It's not that much of the game left. Who do you think created a Crucible? Oh, it's not Crucible. Is it a Crucible or is it a Korean ship? I'm getting confused. I think that's a Korean ship. Anyway. We have the 2 DLCs left, but the Citadel DLC we're gonna do just before the final story mission, I think. But mostly we have Koreans, and then the DLC, and then Miranda's storyline, and then probably finishing line till the end. The best part before the worst part. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by. And I see you next time. Bye-bye, bye-bye.